Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 168, and I am pumped you're here today. Today, we have an awesome guest, Lisa Ebanks, whose husband, Joe Ebanks, was on the show not too long ago. But listen, we got to get the real scoop here. We got to get both sides of this thing. So Lisa agreed to come on, and even more special is our very own Madison Anderson actually did this interview. So you're going to hear Madison and Lisa talking today, all things laundromats, going through a lot of just practical, just tangible things on how Lisa and Joe are scaling up their business quickly. They got a goal to have 10 laundromats by the end of the year. Now, that's an ambitious goal. So I'm rooting for them. Hopefully you guys can get behind them too and learn all these lessons they are learning along the way. So I know you're going to love this thing. Today's fast lane tip is, hey, did you know most of the podcast interviews that I've done with people in this industry, those people have shared an email address or a website or a phone number that you can reach them at. So, hey, if you've listened to past episodes and you're resonating with these guys, listen, there's nothing better than to connect with other people in this industry. That's what this whole thing is all about. Connecting people, sharing, and helping each other do better, serve better, go farther, go faster. And that's what this episode's all about too. So you're going to love it. Enjoy your time with Madison and Lisa, and I will catch you on the back side there.
What is up, everybody? I know this is not what you guys are used to. Yes, you do not have to adjust your screens. This is me, Madison Anderson, representing for the Laundromat Resource Podcast. I know you're thinking, did Jordan turn into a little black girl? No, he didn't. This is Madison Anderson coming live to you from the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is my first solo podcast, so I'm going to need all of y'all's input, good and bad. I'm going to take all the bad ones because we need the engagement. And yes, tell me how I do it after this is all said and done. I hope y'all get a lot from this. I know I'm going to get a lot from this. I got my questions ready. We have Lisa Ebanks here with us. We previously had her husband come on the podcast, and we were like, that's cool and all, but we really want to talk to the person who really got it like that. So how you doing today, Lisa?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. All right, let's do this. Let the women do this, huh?
Okay, because it's a rare situation. You see two beautiful black women on your screen. Okay, awesome. So if you guys haven't already checked out Joe Ebanks podcast, episode 153, please check that out after this one. But if you guys have already watched that podcast, I'm sure you guys are going to love this one. We're not going to hit on the same topics as we did in the last one. This is going to be all about operations. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty on the operations, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of SOPs, a little bit of what's the future plans. So please stay tuned. So Lisa, please. We know from the previous podcast that your husband did that you guys started in real estate and jumped in to laundromats, back-to-back laundromats at that. How many laundromats did you guys acquire?
Well, I mean, a lot. We've been doing a lot of things since Joe got on his podcast. We're on track. We want to have 10 by the end of the year. A couple of them, we had some issues with, like leases, as far as that killing a deal. And if you don't have a good lease, you don't have a deal. And we're not just going to buy anything if the numbers don't make sense. So since then, we have 3 laundromats right now. And then 2 of them fell out of contract. And then now we have 4 that we're actually going through, looking at the numbers. Today, I'm actually going to go with Joe today and look at, another possibility, opportunity for a laundromat. So sometimes things don't work out the way they're supposed to, or you think they don't work out the way they're supposed to, and they work out just how they're supposed to, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I get you 100%. That's awesome. And so now you have 4. The goal was to have how many by this month, by the end of the month?
I think by June, we wanted to have at least 5 by June. So we'll be a little behind that goal, but that's okay because we're revamping. Now that we have at least 3, we're going to start branding them all to look the same. We're going to rename everything. do a lot of retooling, a lot of rehabbing. A lot of things are going to be happening. So now as we go forward and we add more to our portfolio, we'll have our system ready to go and we can just breeze right into these things because, the reason why we do this is cash flow. So we're trying to basically get everything and organize and create a well-oiled machine right now.
Wow, that is amazing. So y'all have acquired 4 laundromats in about a half a year span. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, what is it, like 7 months? I think it's about 7 months now. And it's not like, look, we fell into the laundromat business. It's not like we just said we're going to go buy a laundromat. I'm sure you guys heard how Joe said we got into the laundromat business. And then since we bought the first one, the next thing you know, hey, do you guys want to know about this one? There's another one over here. So people are just bringing the opportunities to us because, we're ready. We want more. Yes. So it's just like, it's the way God is working this thing. And I'm following the path.
Okay, because he's the shepherd and we're going to follow the shepherd.
There you go.
Yes, that is awesome. We still got the goal of owning 10 by the end of the year. We are on track. So,
as far as like me and Joe, I don't know if Joe told you guys like how we met. Did he even go into like any of that?
Did he? That's a good question.
I must admit, I didn't watch the whole podcast. Don't tell Joe that.
Listen, you get enough of his voice at the house. So that's fine. That's fine. But if you want to go ahead and tell us how you guys met and how you guys got started in entrepreneurship, I would love to hear that because that's a part of my questions. I need to get on into the dirt.
Okay, Daryl, you want to tease. Okay, so me and Joe met like 20 some years ago. His uncle was like my manager back in the day, and he was like, hey, I have a nephew. I think that you guys would be good together. I wasn't even an entrepreneur yet. I was like, 22. I was working at Budget Car Rental at Tampa International Airport. His uncle was my manager. He told me about him, but, I was like, yeah, I wasn't really, really into him like that. But I was like, okay, we'll give it a try. Fast forward, when I met Joe, he was actually in the mortgage business, and then he was doing his very first flip. And what's great about his story is his family, like his uncles and his dad, they all come from, that entrepreneur background where they used to have their own painting companies up in New Jersey. Their grandfather had a big painting company. They were already into, knowing how to fix and flip a house. So Joe was doing his very first flip on his own. And that made me say, well, you know what? Let me go get my real estate license and I could sell this. I could learn this and sell this for you. So, I got into that. Fast forward, I was like, well, I got my license, but you seem to be making way more money doing this fix and flip. I want to learn all about that. So I kept my license, but I went over to the investor side. And since then, Joe would be the face. He would talk to the sellers. He would put them on the contract. I would take the contract. I would talk to the title company, talk to the buyers because we were doing wholesaling at that time. And we just basically ran a wholesale business and started making $250 our first year. And then we built that up to about 800-some thousand by, right before the crash. And that was our business model. And what great for us is Joe's a visionary. He has these big ideas that, he wants to put in place. And I'm the integrator, so I listen to what Joe says. Sometimes it's a little scary, but he has the vision. That's what he wants to do, and then I take it and I reverse engineer it and I implement it. I'm the integrator, so our relationship has worked pretty great as far as being in business together. And we've been in business together for many years. We've been together for about 20 years now. We have a whole bunch of kids, but that's another topic.
How many kids do y'all have right now? I said right now, like y'all plan to have more.
I had one and he had 2, and then we ended up getting married, and then we had 3 more. So we have 6 kids. We have 3 older kids that are in their late 20s, and then I don't know what's wrong with me, and then we have 3 younger kids. My youngest is 9, so can't wait till they, grow up.
Feel you, girl. Having to hit the reset button. Ooh. I'm debating that right now. My daughter is getting to that age to where the age gap is starting not to make sense anymore. And I'm thinking like, okay.
How old is she?
She's about to be 6. Me and my sister are 6 years apart. I feel like if we reach anything past 7, it's not going.
Look, my oldest son is 10 years apart from my 16-year-old daughter. So I get it. When I met my husband, he had 2 sons, and they were all like back to back. I think my youngest son was 6 or 7. Then he had an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. So they all grew up together, and that was great. But then when we got married, he wanted to have another child, and one turned into 3. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Girl, he got you. He got you good, girl.
He got me, girl.
Lord
but that's it. We have grandchildren, okay? We have grandchildren, so I'm good with being grandma right now.
I feel that. I feel like grandmas, y'all got it made. Y'all got it made. Y'all don't have to keep the children. Y'all can love on them, spoil them, cherish those moments from when your children were, nice and peaceful in the newborn stage, and then you just send them back when they start to act up.
Give them that. Hey, here you go. Spoil them and make it difficult for them, like they did us.
Yes. Honestly, I tell my mom all the time, grandparents are the best and the worst invention ever, because y'all don't listen. Because y'all don't listen, but y'all will take the children, and that is appreciated. So y'all have 6 kids total. My God, what's the ratio, boy to girl ratio?
What do we have? We have 4 boys and 2 girls. So the older 3 are all boys. What are they? 26, 27, 28. And then the younger ones, the 16-year-old, that's my daughter. I have a 13-year-old, soon to be 13-year-old, and she reminds me every single day that her birthday's coming up. She's about to be 13. And then the youngest is our young son, and he's 9. So, yeah. And that's it. No more.
Okay, put a period at the end of that sentence. That's perfect. And y'all have been in real estate the entire time y'all have been together, so about 20 years?
Yeah, about 20 years, yeah. So, as soon as I met him, he was flipping his first house. So we were doing fix and flips, and then next thing you know, we transitioned into wholesaling. And wholesaling, before it got real big the way it is now, we were doing it way back in like 2014, 2015. And we did that for a couple of years, and then we were like, okay, we're giving away all these amazing deals. We might as well start taking some of them down ourselves. So we start, fixing and flipping some of those big deals. That's especially how we bought our own house that we live in now. It was a wholesale deal that we ended up keeping. Then we went into multifamily, and now Joe he's into building luxury houses out on the beach on Reddington Beach. So yeah, we still love real estate. Real estate is a great tool, and it especially it helps our laundromats as well. But that's our long-term game. The laundromats are like short-term, like that's our cash flow. That's where we make our money right now. And then our multifamily and anything we do in the developing world, that's gonna, you have to stabilize that for the next 2 to 3 years. So that's our long-term money. So I think we're gonna stay with these 2 avenues.
That's perfect. When you got into real estate, did you say bye to that budget job?
Yeah, I said bye to the I said bye to the budget job. Yeah, right when I got my license and I started, hanging it with a broker, started learning little things, networking, meeting and mingling and mixing with all these different people. I said bye to the budget job. And then, I think his uncle, he might have stayed there for maybe another year, and then he went on to some big sales management job somewhere else. So we both said bye.
I know that's right. And how old were you when you did get into real estate?
Let's see, I met Joe when I was like 23, so it had to be 24. The next year, 24 is when I started to get my license. Now
and your parents did not have any type of entrepreneurship background?
Okay, so my dad, yes, that's where my inspiration, that's my why, that's where everything comes from, my dad. Like when I was growing up, my dad was murdered when I was about 17. So I only had my dad in my life up until the age of 17. But while he was here, he always had his own business. He always showed us, how to run your own business. And it's funny, right before he died, he got into mortgages. So I'm sure if he would have still been alive today, he probably would have transitioned, right into, what we are doing. So, yeah, I got that, that entrepreneur spirit from my dad. And then I happened to run into Joe, who has so many similarities to my dad. Their names, Joe. My dad's name was Joe. I'm married to a Joe. Isn't that weird?
That is so crazy.
It just clicked, and it's we've been doing this ever since.
That is amazing. And at 24, when you did jump into entrepreneurship, that was full-time entrepreneurship.
Full-time. I mean, there have been. We've always done real estate, but there have been other businesses. I remember we used to own a landscaping business because, we had properties, and instead of paying somebody else to do it, we was like, well, why not just have our own landscaping business? So we had that for a while. We built that up alongside our real estate business, and we ended up selling that. And then we call ourselves buying a jazz club in Tampa. Oh, my God, I don't know why we did that. Did that for a little bit, learned, yeah, we didn't want to do that, so we were done with that. But we've always came back to real estate. That's been, that's been our staple in the things that we do.
That's awesome. And you guys have done that full time, like no other 9 to 5s, part times, door dashing, nothing like that.
No, I mean, it's been all or nothing. I mean, it was no plan B. This was plan A. A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, this is what we stuck with. The highs, and don't get me wrong, like, we've been through many things, but we stayed the course. We might have pivoted within real estate to something like a different strategy, but we've always been in the real estate game. And buying the laundromat, we just basically applied what we learned and how we ran our real estate operations to the laundromat business. So it kind of went hand in hand.
That's amazing. Yes, full time the entire time. No plan B through Z.
She said no plan B.
I love that. I feel like when I do see a lot of people in the Facebook groups that are either interested in laundromats or are operating laundromats, they do a handful of other different things that may not even relate to like cleaning or real estate or anything like that. It's like, yep, I own a laundromat, but I also do, shoe shining, or no, that's related. Or I do like, let me think. I have a daycare, or I have a microchip company or something like that. It's like, okay.
And I think a lot of people where they get lost and where they don't become successful is because they're doing too many other different things that has nothing to do with their main business. If you're going to focus on one lane, you need to stay in that lane. Now, you could do sub businesses that all relate to that business that you're running. But if you're running a daycare and a laundromat, your focus is going to go where you focus. So if you focus more on your daycare, you're not going to grow your laundromat business, and vice versa. People, like with the laundromat business, if you're going to be in the laundromat business and you first get started and you start out on the coin operated side, and you say you want to add pickup and delivery or wash, dry, fold, that's within the laundry business. So you're focusing on all that at the same time. But running something different, let me see. I know someone that runs a business notary business, or they're doing other. Well, I guess credit still goes along with it, but they're doing many different things. And where your focus goes, that's where your money goes too at the same time. So that's why anytime we've ever owned a business, we've made sure whatever other income strategy we add to our current business, it all falls together. So that way we can still stay the course and still remain on the same path. So, I mean, if people would just do that, they would become a little more successful in what they want to be successful in.
I agree. I totally agree. 100%. I would say at least 100% focus on one thing. At least 100%, please, y'all, because we don't need all these side failures. I feel like that just hurts the ego.
But the side hustle, yeah.
Yes. All right, so let's get into marriage and business, because I have some questions. So me and my man's, we finna get married soon. We're about to start marriage counseling, and he is a engineer. He is a software developer right now, but he is on this wave of building out like a handheld toy. And he's like, you know what my dream is, Maddie? I'm like, what, baby? And he's like, my ultimate dream is just to own and operate a company with you. And I said, oh, really? But the gag is, we've worked together before previously in my company where he built my website. I gave him something that I knew he would be great at. And we started butting heads. I want to know about y'all's operation. Have y'all been in business together since y'all have been married? Like the entire time of y'all's marriage and togetherness?
Yeah, I mean, me and Joe, we've done this thing. Any business we've been in it together. And there have been some head bumping along the way. But being that we've been together so long, well, first of all, it's important to be with someone that you're on the same page with, that you both have the same goals, you both share the same vision for where you want your family to go, and you both support each other's dreams. Because, I mean, if you don't at least have that foundation, you're in for a very rocky start, middle, ending, period in business. And then we've learned along the way is you got to stay in your lane. Like I remember that was my key word. Whenever I saw Joe jump over, I'm like, hey, stay in your lane. Even the employees at our wholesaling company, they would tell him whenever he gets out of his lane, Joe, you better stay in your lane. And Lisa's going to tell you that's not something you're supposed to be working on. So it's important to know your job roles. If you two are going to work together, then you have to sit down and you have to say, okay, I'll be responsible for this, and that, and you be responsible for that. And then we'll come together and we'll have our meetings, and I'll tell you what I've accomplished, you tell me what you accomplished, and then we'll talk about how we can improve upon what we're doing. But it's important for you to know your job roles and your responsibilities. That's why we run EOS. We use traction in all our businesses, and we set up our job roles. Now, it wasn't always like that in the beginning, but now in order for us to take our family to the next level and accomplish the things we want to accomplish, first, we're on the same page, number one. But number two, we make sure we stay in our lanes. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do, he does what he does. And we don't cross over, or else I don't cross over. But, you know, you got to ask Joe Ebanks if he's sticking up to his line. Not saying he doesn't cross over sometimes, but he knows, you know?
I totally get it. And how would you define y'all's lanes? I know that from the episode that we had previously with Joe, he's more of the hide and seeker, the find and the seeker when it comes to laundromats or real estate, and your HR and operations. Is that true?
That's pretty much what we do. Like, he'll find them. I mean, he's finding them so fast. I'm like, dude, slow down. Like, he was like, why do we need to slow down? I'm like, calm down. Okay, let's put these processes in place first before you buy the next one. He's like, I'm hot. I'm on it. You know, we have a goal of what we want to achieve, but I'm like, dude, let us get this all together. So basically, he was right about that. That is he finds them and I do operate them. But I mean, when it comes to running, like, the employees, dealing with that, dealing with payroll, dealing with like the customers, because I'm very hands-on with our customers. And, you know, I'm very hands-on with being at the actual laundromat with our employees. That's my job. Joe will come when it's time to do our rehab, and he'll run the contractors. He'll make sure all of that gets done, even after, you know, we buy it. So we still stay in our lanes sometimes, and unless Joe comes over and he happens to walk up and the customer walks up, he might take an order. I'll let him have that. But other than that, stay out of the way, Joe.
I know, that's right. Is that the same when it does come to real estate as well? Or is y'all's sole focus right now is the 10 laundromats for this year?
Well, I mean, our focus is to do the 10 laundromats, but at the same time, Joe is also focusing on building luxury houses over on the beach. So I mean, you have to have a team. You have to have great leadership in order to lead people in the position that you put them in. So that way you're able to go and run these multiple businesses at the same time. So yes, Joe, he comes and he focuses on the laundromats at the stage wherever I need him to be. And then he goes back over and does his thing.
Gotcha. So you don't go over to real estate with him, or how does that work?
As far as what he's doing with his new builds, I mean, no, I kind of don't get involved with the new builds, but multifamily, you know, I do, you know, give him a little input over there on multifamily. But laundromats is basically like where I've choose to like have my focus in the day-to-day operations to make sure that, you know, everything is happening how it's supposed to be.
Love that. Is that how it is in the household too? Everybody's got their lane. You focus on these 3 kids. I focus on these 3 kids.
No, actually Joe, like the kids. Okay, so Joe's taking up golfing, you know, he's trying to become Tiger Woods. I don't know, him and his son, like my youngest son and my older daughter, they love to golf and they can actually golf. So Joe, like, he's very hands-on with the kids. It's funny because I hear, you know how you're on social media and they're like, oh, the man should do this. We actually don't have that. Sometimes Joe cooks, which is shocking. Sometimes he'll clean, although, you know, he'll hire a cleaning company in a hot minute because, you know, he's not going to do that all the time. But I'm just saying, like, at home, it's kind of like we just jump in wherever at home versus during business, we stay in our lanes. Because, you know, you don't want to have the arguments. You don't want to have the tension. And I like whenever we have a problem, one thing about when we're facing an issue, it's me and Joe against the issue. It's never me and Joe arguing about the issue and the issue coming between us. We have a problem. We need to work on fixing it. We don't dwell on the negative. We don't dwell on, oh my God, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. What do we need to do to fix it? So that's a great quality to have in a partner. Don't tell him that I said this, but I mean,
we won't let him know.
But his head getting big, you know.
I hear you on that one, because Lord have mercy, we know that these men do not need bigger heads.
But he's hard-headed now. Don't get it wrong. Joe is still hard-headed. But having meetings and basically saying, oh, if you do come over into my lane, what's your lane looking like? Did you do this, and that? And if you haven't, then it sounds like you need to jump back over there. Otherwise, mind your business,
Okay. Period. You better sit down, sitting with.
But I welcome the help. I mean, I like when he gets involved as far as like walking around the laundromat, talking to the customers, building rapport. Like there are some customers that we have from when we first closed the laundromat that they met Joe and they know him and they're like, hey, and Joe goes and builds great rapport. And you never know who you're going to meet. I mean, there's all types of professionals and many different people that come through the laundromat. So, I mean, even the guy that we the first guy that we met when we first closed the laundromat, he came, Joe was like, oh, I love your hat. He brought Joe a hat and was like, hey, I noticed you love my hat. Here's a fedora for you. So that way, we can look like twins or you really keep this place going. I want to make sure that, I show my appreciation to you because you guys are doing a good job and you treat us right. So I like when he's really involved on that end. I really don't, fuss with him at that when he's mingling and mixing with the customers.
That's awesome. Now, since y'all have been together for 20 years and y'all have been in business together for that entire time, how many businesses have y'all had? I know we heard landscaping, we heard real estate, we heard jazz.
Yeah, we've all defaulted to jazz club. Joe always wanted to own the club, so we did that. Is that pretty much it? Everything else has been surrounded around real estate, the landscaping business. Yeah, and the laundromats now. Yeah, those are all the businesses we have.
Got you. So in your view, it's safe to say that the jazz club was the worst one out of all of those. Okay.
And it's not that it was the worst one. It's that we came into a situation where we didn't know that there was politics going on between the management company and the building where it was. So I'm not going to say that I would ever want to buy a club again. But now I know if we ever were to decide to buy like that type of club here in Tampa, to own the building. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So that way you don't have any of those issues. Because if it was a standalone building that we owned, then we can control that environment and we wouldn't have the issues with the management company and the building itself. That was a learning lesson. Mm-hmm. It was an expensive learning lesson, but it was a learning lesson.
Hey, we got to learn them. Expensive or cheap. We all got to put in our dues. Now, out of all those businesses, what would you say is the best so far?
Oh, it's all hands down real estate. Like, oh my God, we love it. We try when we go on dates, to have a nice date night and not talk about any business and try to keep it personal. But I mean, we just get so excited about real estate and real estate deals and things that happen. And laundromats, it just always comes back to that. So sometimes we got to kind of say, okay, this is really truly date night. Let's let this be date night. But we actually love what we do. So it's not like it's a job. It's not like we're working. It's a part of us, Our kids are a part of it. Our family is a part of it. And we just enjoy it. And flipping into laundromats, they were just like, wow, that's really exciting. They just love to see us hop into new things and not be afraid to do it. Because, listen, I'm going to figure it out. If I fail, I'm still going to keep pushing and I'm going to figure it out. We just don't stop. We don't give up, Coming into laundromats was natural from what we were already doing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. And child, I got 6 kids. 3 of them out the door. 3 of them in the door. How are y'all doing this? Because y'all making my head hurt thinking about that.
We doing it? I mean, yes. Yeah, our life is very busy and hectic, but we still have to take time to check in with our kids and check in with their mental health. Like, I'm always checking in with my daughters to find out, how they're feeling. What are they, what are they dealing with? I check in with them at school. Even my young son, for a lot of people that don't know, Joe is dyslexic. And so is my older daughter and my youngest son. And we've hired people. We've hired a dyslexic coach, a therapist, people that can help them maneuver. Because, I mean, it's like it's a superpower for them. You know how their brains, they think totally different than us. And I'm trying to help my son have those tools in place so that way he can take it and he don't feel like he's struggling or like his father did. Like his father really had a hard time with it growing up as a child. And it's a blessing that he's here and we're able to get the resources and give them to our kids, so that way they don't have to go through, what he went through when he was younger. So we're always checking in with them. We're always having family game nights. We travel with our kids, a certain amount of times a year. And then, we have our mommy and daddy things that we do, and our date nights and our trips that we take alone. But we make sure that we include our kids in this, because we want our kids to see the type of life that we're living, so that way we can leave a legacy for them and they'll do the same thing for their kids.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
You definitely have to lead by example when it does come to kids. I'm learning that every freaking day. My gosh, it's like the things that I have displayed to my daughter Winnie, like when I come across something that's difficult. Before therapy, I would scream. I would take myself to the car to scream, or I would punch the pillow, or I would tell Daddy, hold this pillow real quick, and I would punch the pillow. And I started to see Winnie, like when she was playing Barbies and whatnot, she's yelling, like the Barbies are yelling at each other. I'm like, okay, I can't do that no more. And we have to also tell her, like, it's okay to have big feelings, but let's both work on other ways to display these feelings. Even when it does come to getting up and trying things again, it's the same thing. I have to lead by example. It's just hard.
You did that. But that's good that you noticed that and you redirected yourself. I mean, when we were younger, what we were taught to be seen and not heard. The way our parents raised us back in the day was a whole different way that we're trying to raise our children. And it's good that you were self-aware and you noticed that and you said, okay, I got to do something about it. I got to make a change about it, because your kids mirror what they see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I wasn't yelling everything that I learned as a child and bring it over into my adulthood. But it came a time where I was like, no, I want to do something different. We seek therapy. We talk to a therapist. We work on our triggers, our traumas, our triumphs. We have a therapy coach that we talk to that helps us, because you need that as an entrepreneur. You need someone that can help you with your business. You need someone that can help you with your health, because your health is everything. If you don't have that, how are you going to take these businesses and be there for your children? We need someone to help you with your mental health. All of that is very important. So that's good that you saw that and you started working on that. You go ahead, Madison.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Let me say to myself, you go ahead, Madison.
Girl, pat yourself on the back.
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna step out of the family and the marriage. We're gonna talk about laundromat operations. That's what I really want to know. A lot of people out here are not operating their laundromats like they're supposed to, and from a bird's eye view, it looks like y'all are doing such a wonderful job. I stalk y'all on Instagram. I surely do. I see everything. I love the event that y'all just hosted. The free laundry day. Was that it?
Yes. That was awesome. Oh, I loved it too. That was amazing. And we're going to do more of that. That's what the community needs. And I tell the community, I tell the people in the laundromat, look, we are blessed to be able to own and operate a laundromat, but it's not our laundromat. I mean, it's the community's laundromat. So to give back to them and to show them that we're here, we're not just in the business just to make money, but we also want to pour into the people that live there. You got to do that. I mean, I know a lot of operators probably don't do that. They might turn their nose down to stuff like that, but I'm not. I mean, listen, I'm from the hood. I'm a little black girl from the hood of St. Pete. So to see someone that looks like me that owns a laundromat, and I'm able to do this and show little young black girls and little young black boys that, hey, this is possible. You gotta pour into your communities. You don't just take from them. You gotta do that. So this is why we do this, and we're gonna be doing that more at each and every one of our laundromats. So,
I love that. That's what I envision for my laundromat as well. The laundromat that I work at, if y'all don't know my story, I started a laundry delivery company, ran that for about a year and a half, shut it down due to not putting money in the right buckets in the business. And after 8 months, I wasn't able to find a job. So I started working at the laundromat that I ran my laundry delivery company out of. In this place, 30 years old, borderline zombie mat, the AC is struggling and the heat is running up in that laundromat. And the owner does not really care about the community. Every time like a customer does something silly, he really goes in and like dogs on that on that customer behind their back, of course, and doesn't offer anything, any type of community service, community support services in the laundromat. I have taken it upon myself to do that. Like if I do see homeless customers come in, I'm like, hey, would you like a free wash today? Et cetera, offering the kids snacks, coloring books so they don't run amok in this laundromat. But I really love that you guys do offer that.
It sounds like you should own that laundromat. Why don't you own that laundromat? You need to buy that laundromat. You want us to buy it with you?
Honey, if y'all want to start the laundromat train, let's get into it. Let's get this laundromat up and running in Charlotte, North Carolina, the way it's supposed to be ran. Okay,
those are the type of laundromats that we buy. What you just described to us is what we're buying all day long, because they don't even have websites. They don't even have operating procedures. They don't have anything in place. They're just, and you know, some people, that's the type of business that they want to have, and that might be okay for them, you know? Like I'm not, you know, putting that down or anything, but not for us. We're trying to build a culture to where we're helping the community. We're also helping our employees, because, you know, we have, I'll tell you about our employee story just a little later, but we want to build something different than what we have seen as we go and look at these many different type of laundromats. So what you just described is something that we will buy in Charlotte. And if you ever get the opportunity to buy that, talk to us. You know, we'll come to Charlotte.
I'm gonna talk to all of y'all. Y'all comment down below if y'all want to help. Let's help each other, because this laundromat needs the love, and I'm here to give it. Please. Perfect. Well, speaking of, you know, since we're on this topic of you know, starting into the laundromat industry and taking over a laundromat, let's talk about what y'all did when y'all first got the keys to the first laundromat. What were some of the things that you did? Did you paint, deep clean, upgrade machines, et cetera, et cetera? Let us know.
So the first laundromat we were lucky to buy, it had newer machines. So we didn't have to do anything. The machines were like 2 to 3 years old. So we got lucky there. But it was an outside laundromat. It was, you know, it was very, very hot. It had a lot of fans. The floors were like buckling because the rain would come in. So the floors would buckle. It had cats everywhere. The place was just a nightmare. So what we do is whenever we buy a laundromat, we execute our business plan first. So our business plan consists of what kind of rehab do we need to do? What kind of painting? What do we need to do to get this thing looking up to par? We do that first. Then after that, we evaluate machines. Like, can these machines be fixed? Do we need to replace anything? Is this a total retool project? We look into that. So then we'll go into the machines. And then after that, we just start putting it in our systems and our processes. All the laundromats that we bought had no systems and no systems and processes. We had to do everything from scratch because it was just, you know, mom and pop. Something they got into, something they didn't really want to do. So we had to, you know, do websites. We had to add a POS system. We had to hire employees. None of them had employees. We had to do everything from scratch, which was fun at the same time. But the point is that whenever we go into a laundromat, we go in with our business plan. And that's written before we even close. I mean, some of them we probably even have to do like the electrical and the plumbing. We do everything to get it up to par, so that way when we hire, we have our employee going into a safe, clean, and an environment where all the machines are working, so they can hit the ground running from day one when we get to that point.
I love that. That's crazy that it had no SOPs to even like work off of. Y'all's first laundromat, y'all was really like, well, here we are.
Here we are. But the rehab part was fun because that's what we do. Now, as far as like learning the laundry business itself, we joined the Coin Laundry Association. Laundromat Resource was our biggest. Jordan's what's the tool where you analyze that deal?
Oh wait,
the deal analyzer.
Deal analyzer.
We use that. We watched his videos. We watched his YouTubes. We watched podcasts. We went on Coin. We joined Facebook groups. We got very, very educated as much as we could, and then we took action. Now, we don't know everything.
How long did y'all do that?
How long did we do that? I mean, I want to say we did that from the time Joe started, when he was in negotiations with the lady about buying the laundromat. What was that? Back in September. or back in, I think it was August, September, he was in it was like a 2-month conversation. That's when we were like, are we really going to go on the laundromats? And he was like, look, Lisa, the numbers, look at the numbers. This thing can do this. And I was like, are you sure laundromats really do that? He was like, yeah. Like, so we started going and we started, seeking out as much information as we could, but we didn't let that paralyze us and stop us. Then we jumped in, we jumped in. So whatever mistakes we were going to make, those were all going to be learning lessons. We didn't look at them as mistakes. We looked at them as learning lessons along the way. We failed forward. We didn't just, let that stop us. So, and here we are 7-8 months later.
That's amazing. Y'all got handed the opportunity, said, okay, let's talk about it. But while y'all was talking about it, y'all was like, let's get all this information and then let's execute. Y'all see, I'm not the only one that has this issue of analysis paralysis, because I have been I am going through Jordan's Buying Your First Laundromat course, and I am only 13% done with the course. And I've been on 13% for about 4 months now.
Why, Maddie? You work in a laundromat. You have everyday experience. So you should be zooming through that course.
On the operational side, when it comes to the investing side. I know, y'all. Lisa's kicked me in the butt, y'all. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done by the end of June.
By the end of June? Okay, I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay.
So what are you like? What are you good at? What are you good at, Maddie?
So I went to college for marketing. I will say that I'm really good at, I'm a visionary. So I am really good at coming up with the creative juices, or like, let's incorporate this. Let's do this type of strategy, stuff like that. But when it comes to the execution, I'm like, what if it doesn't work? That's when the anxiety starts to creep up. She sits right here on this shoulder. She's like, what if it doesn't work? What if we look a fool?
Do her like this. If you're the visionary, Maddie, and you have the big ideas and you see the potential, you see where it's going, then all you need to do is partner with an integrator and let them execute. The reason why me and Joe work so well is because he's the visionary, and when Joe puts his mind to something, it's go time. And he doesn't let you just sit there and say, that's one thing about him. Like, I used to be like, well, I don't know, Joe, what if this doesn't, just like how are you feeling? What if this don't, well, we going to figure it out while it's happening. We'll cross that when we get there. Most of the times we don't even know how we're going to do something, but he already has it. We're doing it. So you just got to kind of like, if you're not going to be the person that's going to, pull the trigger, partner with somebody that can pull the trigger, and you be the visionary that can lead them. Okay. I believe you, girl. I know you can do it.
Thank you, girl. I really need this. This is more for me, not for y'all, but I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all are enjoying this episode. But anyhow, let's reel it back into some more operations. So you said when you walked into this first laundromat, and outside the laundromat, Lord, in Florida, Tampa, Florida,
with fans and cats, and it's dirty.
It was hot, stank, and dirty.
Rodents, rats. I'm sure. The dryer vents needed to. Baby, when I tell you this was, but it was brand new machines. Isn't that rare?
That is rare. That is so rare. So let's walk us through. So of course y'all closed the laundromat. It was no longer an outside laundromat, and you got the cats out and you put the AC in. Okay. And we got the dryer vents cleared out so they can breathe.
Yes.
Now after that,
we blew out the lines.
Okay. And after that, what were when it was time to like incorporate the SOPs on how we going to run this, how we going to open up, how we going to maneuver through the day with customers in here, how we going to close up, what was that like? I'm sure it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of doing it, a DIY, do it yourself type of situation. Let's sit in here for the entire day with the broom in our hand. Walk us through that when it does come to operating your first laundromat.
So in the beginning, I worked in a laundromat. Like Joe was like, "What? Why are you doing this? You know you can hire somebody to do all. Why are you cleaning the machines? Why?" I was like, "Well, I just want to learn. I want to learn about these machines. Like, because when you look at these machines, they look very intimidating. Like, I would see the guy come in and opening them up, and I'm like, oh my God, what is all of that? Like, so I was learning from our repair guy if ever we needed to change a diaphragm, like, because we can change diaphragms, We can open the drains. We can do all like the basic stuff ourselves from just learning whenever they came in. So I worked in there. I kept it clean. I interacted with the customers. That community is very Spanish oriented. So eventually, I didn't have to hire someone that can speak Spanish because I wanted them to have someone they were comfortable with talking to if they had any issues that they can understand. So that way, they would have a pleasant experience whenever they came into the laundromat. So in the beginning, I did work there. I eventually hired someone. We put in a POS system so that way they can clock in. They can, track drop-offs because we just focused on dropping off laundry at that time. People would come in, they would drop off laundry. The person would have to keep it clean. They did a deep clean. So putting that POS system in was number one. Putting in a standard operating as far as like when you first come in, this is your checklist. This is what you need to do every single day. By me being in the laundromat and working it myself in the very beginning and interacting with the customers, I learned, okay, these are the things if I hire someone, this is what I need them to do when I'm not around. So what I do is I record videos. I record videos of what I do. Put myself in the mindset of a laundry attendant. And I record videos. I do this when I come in. I make sure this is done step by step so that way whenever I hire someone, they can just watch the video. And the video end up turning into our training manual. And we still do that to this day. Now, I don't train them myself anymore. I have a young lady that I've hired that, oh my God, I was blessed to finally have in my business. And she goes around and she trains everyone. But yeah, in the beginning, system, understanding how to operate a laundromat, and hiring someone to actually execute everything that I need them to do, at that first laundromat.
Could you give us that opening checklist? Because a lot of people don't know like what I need to do when it does come to opening a laundromat until they do get those keys and have to really figure it out. Could you give us a little glimpse?
Well, the one thing that me and Joe did is we created a course called Wealth Off Washers, where if you get into the course, we give you all of that. We'll give you the checklist. We'll give you everything you need because I find that when we got in this business, we didn't have anyone to help us or show us how to do this. Now, don't get me wrong. We since we've joined the Coin Laundry Association, we've met a lot of phenomenal people that, oh my gosh, like, we've met the Williford brothers. We've met this wonderful lady named Colleen. She's out of Seattle. Like, we've met some amazing rock star operators that we go to that they've already created the lane on how to run the business. So don't reinvent the wheel. Just follow what they're doing. So we've created Wealth Off Washers for people that were just like us that had no idea about a laundromat. So that way when they first get into the laundromat, they know exactly what to do from day one. So, I mean, I wish I could give it to you, but, you got to buy the course.
Honey, there's a paywall, baby. There is a paywall, and it will be linked in the description. Okay, and in the show notes. All right. I love that. Now, when it does come to people buying their first laundromat, is like an opening checklist, like before ribbon cutting, is that included in the course? Like, I need to do paint. I need to check the machines. I need to check the plumbing. I need to check the electrical. Is that type of checklist in the course as well? Oh, yes.
Look, when you first get into a laundromat, the first things you need to do, the first thing we do, plumbing, we blow our lines. Listen, we learned the hard way. We got to flood. So that's number one. Blow your plumbing lines out because I guarantee you the previous owners never did it. Clean your dryer vents because do you want a fire? Do you want your laundromat to blow up? We go in. We hired a great company by the name of Lint Busters in Tampa. He comes into every single one of our laundromats, and now we're going to be having him on rotation as we start to buy more, and he cleans our vents because we noticed when he came to our latest laundromat, it looks like it was about to set on fire. So good thing, you know what I'm saying? We have that in place, and he caught that. So those are the first two things. Blow your plumbing lines, clean your vents, look into your electrical. Like, all of that is in the checklist. That's a part of Joe's rehab process. He does all of that first. So before I even come in and do anything with operations, that has to be done first. So yes, that is a part of the course. Because, hey,
and it is linked in the description in the show notes. And it is linked in the description and in the show notes, folks. Get it if you're serious. If you're curious, hey, Just listen to this podcast and Joe's podcast one more time. All right, we'll skip, hop, and jump down to hiring and training. Since you were just talking about how blessed you are to have like somewhat like a regional manager to go around and train newcomers into the laundromat. I want to know, what are some qualities that you look for when it does come to hiring staff for your laundromat?
Work ethic. When we first started on our first laundromat, thinking about laundromats, I don't know, I guess it may be a mental block, like, what is the type of person who works here? Where do these people live? Like, if you look in some of these communities, they're kind of like low-income communities. And what I've learned is you just can't hire anybody just to put a body in there because, baby, like, I could tell you a couple of horror stories that we've had before me and Joe actually found our key person that I feel will take us to the next level with all of our laundromats. So the qualities I look at is your work ethic. A lot of people say, yeah, I know how to clean. Yeah, I know how to fold. I fold my own clothes, but it's not that simple. We're trying to put on a presentation. We're trying to make sure that everything is consistent at a high quality. So you just can't get just any old body working in your laundromat that knows how to clean, because everybody clean is not clean. Some people say they know how to clean, but they don't know how to clean. And you can train anybody to do anything, but if they don't have the proper mindset or work ethic, then it's not going to fit in our culture. So for me, like, now that I had those first couple of mistakes in the beginning, it's like I can kind of tell. Like, the last young lady that I ended up hiring, she used to work many, many years ago. She wasn't even in the laundry business. Many, many years ago for another guy in the Tampa Bay area that owned 9 laundromats. So she already had her process of how, and she taught me, and that's okay. I don't know everything in the laundromat. So I'm not afraid to say or learn from someone that may not be on the same level as me financially, because anyone can teach, anyone a lesson. Don't ever feel like you're better than someone that's making $14, $13 an hour because you make 100 or whatever thousand a year. Knowing that she came from that laundromat background and she kind of had the basics of how to run the laundry business, oh my God, I'm so thankful for her to this day. She fits into our culture. And since I've hired her, they have to be at least 60 to 70% or have 60 to 70% her mentality when it comes into my business, because she has a phenomenal work ethic. The people around her have a phenomenal work. Her mother, the people who used to work with at her last laundromat business years ago. Just getting her was heaven sent. I thank God for her every day. Because before when I was hiring for our other laundromat, I had a young lady. She had great work ethic when it came to dealing with customers and cleaning, but she didn't want to work. She didn't want to show up on Saturday. She would always call. It became a pattern. She didn't want to be there. Then the next lady that I hired, she broke into my safe room, said she got a call, someone's trying to rob her over the phone. I'm like, rob you over the phone? Like, it was ridiculous. Now, the way I hire is totally different than the way I hired when I first started out at my first laundromat. Now, the young lady that I have now, you have to have had experience working in a laundromat before I even talk to you. If you don't even have any experience working in a laundromat, we don't really have anything to talk about, because I need someone that understands the culture and what needs to be done on the day-to-day operations in the laundromat. Because that lady that broke into our place, it was crazy, girl. The police came and everything. And she said she got a phone call. And I'm like, well, if you got a phone call, you actually listen to someone tell you to go. She went and grabbed the fire extinguisher from the inside of the laundromat, walked into the back room, broke it down on the door, and was on video call with this person. And they're telling her what to do. And she said, oh, well, I thought it was you. Why would I tell you to break down my door? Why would I? It was crazy. So I learned a valuable lesson, and don't just put any old body in your laundromat. They have to fit into the culture that you're trying to build. So, yeah, girl. It was crazy.
And what platforms are you using to post these jobs on?
Indeed, ZipRecruiter, meeting customers in the laundromat, like seeing different people in the laundromat. Like, there's some phenomenal people that kind of like do their own little side business, like kind of like what you do. like how you were running your wash and fold. So, I mean, I meet them in the laundromat, online, different places, but I have a process that you have to go through. Like before they even talk to me, our VAs filter them out and ask them questions, and that's the process they go through before we even get on the phone and talk. And then after that phone call, it depends on how that phone call goes if you even step foot into the laundromat. So there's a whole system on how we hire now because of what I learned before. and I have to stick to that hiring process, because if I deviate from that, who knows what I'll get. I don't want those same, I want different results.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, you're posting on the well-known platforms, not no Craigslist, not no Facebook, none of that. You're filtering through them. You're asking them a series of questions. Do you send out personality tests?
Now, in our real estate company, we did use this test, because we wanted to make sure we had the right butts in the right seat. We use them there. But in the laundromat, I don't know. I just kind of got like an instinct. Like, how you can... Like when I was talking to the young lady that I hired that ended up being a great worker for us, I just got that feeling. You know how you get that feeling, and then meeting her in person, it just was a vibe. It was something that I didn't have before. So I haven't really used the disc test here in the laundromat business. I've kind of been going off instinct because of the type of people that you're going to be meeting within the laundromat community. So I haven't used it here. Now, as we grow, we get to 10 and we start hiring, managers and COOs and all and things like that, then I'll place it, I'll use those kind of tests. But for right now, it's been instinct, baby. And so far, my instinct's been paying off.
Period. Shout out to you, Miss Lisa. Go ahead, girl. Now, when it does come to this one employee, how are you planning to retain her or retain all the employees that you have that are really great employees? What are some things that you've done and are doing to keep those good butts in those seats?
Well, what we're doing is we're building a culture. Paying people, you want to pay them more than what average people pay, but it's not just about the money. You want to have them buy into your family, into your company culture. When it's time for school, we do backpacks for their kids. We give them days off. We give them paid holidays after a certain amount of time. My one young lady that works with me, she wants to buy a house, so I'm helping her fix her credit. I also do business credit as well, because that's something that I learned from my previous, from being in real estate, and I also apply it to the laundromat business. So basically, I pour into them, because the more I pour into them, the more they're going to appreciate me as a leader, and they're going to pour into the job, and they're going to stay there because we're building a family culture around them. I want people, when they work for me, I don't want them to just come in and collect a paycheck and go home, or I don't want them to just come in and work for me and they're struggling and they're on food stamps and they can't get, no, I want people to flourish in their lives as well. I don't want to just take advantage and just keep them as regular workers and build this big old empire and don't pour into them, because we want to build a family culture, so that way, as I build my legacy for my kids, they can build a legacy for their kids as well. So it's a family thing over there, like we have parties. They come to the parties. We have a big 4th of July pool party every year. I invite all the employees to that. Like, we're building a culture that we want to build a longevity, a lifetime business with these people. So you pour into them and you build into them as well. So that's how we keep them,
I love that, because nobody can really operate at a low frequency. Like, when they have to go back to those homes, they got to go back to that Social Security office, them horrible fluorescent lights and all that things. It's like, why would they feel motivated to come do their best at work when they know everything back at home is crap? So I love that you really do. It is actually a family, for what it sounds like. And if you do that, too, from what I've seen.
And if you do things like that, other people can't steal your people, because you're always going to get other businesses. If they see that you're running your operation well, they'll go and approach your attendants, or that they'll approach your employees. But if I'm taking care of my employee and I'm paying her well, she's not going anywhere, because we built a culture over here that she may not get. When they see that we care and we pour into them, why would they want to go work for someone else that doesn't treat them the same way? So, that's just how we run. But we've always run our business like that. We've always cared and poured into people as well, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want someone to do it for me. So that's pretty much what, how we run our business.
Very true. I love that. So we got that. Hold on. I got to think of this. I had a question. Think about it. Training. Yeah. When it comes to training, I know you're not training any employees anymore. You have somebody that does that for you. What does the training look like, and how long is it? I know you got the videos. Is there do new employees get like a test trial week or a training week to see if they are actually a good fit for the laundromat?
So in the beginning, I did do that. I did like a test trial for a young lady to see if she was going to make the cut, and she did. She rose to the occasion. Basically, what we do is, like I told you, I have all my videos, I have all my training, I have all my checklists all broken down. And every week we have our Monday meetings. So that's how we ensure from our KPIs that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. All the bags are looking the same. All the clothes are folded the same way. The laundromat, I'm so involved in the laundromat operations. Like on a weekly basis, I'll pop in or I'll come in and I'll help out on the shift. So I'm paying attention and looking to see, okay, is the bathroom getting clean? Is the floor getting mopped? Are the vents getting cleaned out? How's the wash dry fold? Are the customers happy? I'll call a customer and say, hey, how did you love the way we folded your clothes? Do you have any issues or any concerns or any complaints? Like, I double check, I follow up. So by doing that, my employees know, okay, she's going to double check. So let me make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I really don't have to do that, because the young lady that I hired, she stays on top of that, and they don't want to let her down. So they basically, they do their job. Like, I thank God for her, like, every day. Because, baby, you know how it is. People don't want to really work, So when you get good people, you keep them.
Very true. I love that. All right. I know we got a few minutes left here, so I want to go through something really short and simple. And I just want to know, how are you incorporating technology into your laundromats? Y'all have a lot. 4 is a good amount of laundromats on top of the real estate and everything. You got to keep all those things organized. And I don't know how people do it without technology, but I want to know how y'all do it with technology. What is everything that you guys use? Do you guys have automatic door locks, automatic lights, automatic entertainment systems, POS? What machines are you using? All that stuff.
Okay. So basically, being that we're going through like a rebranding, all the laundromats are gonna change into the same name, the same color scheme. We're gonna do some rehabs to make them all look the same. Certain laundromats we do door locks because they're gonna close at a certain time depending on where that location is. The other laundromats are basically 24 hours, so they don't have door locks on them. We use SENSE as our POS system. We're going to be switching over to LaundraWorks for the card system pretty soon, because when I first got into this business, counting quarters was cute. It was exciting, to count the quarters and go through each machine and figure out what my turns were. Like, that was very cute in the beginning, but after a while it gets very tedious, and it's not really like effective if you want to scale and grow your business. Having the LaundraWorks system will be able to give us our KPIs a lot faster. We don't have to worry about all this loose change and coins and money just floating around everywhere. It's a little more safer. So LaundraWorks will be implemented into every one of our laundromats that we have coming up here. So in the next 6 months, if you want to, I'll let your girl and bring you back on here. I'll show you all the pictures of everything that we've done, all the new systems we put in place, how all the laundromats look, because we're trying to make this all, in unison. When people go on our website, if they want to do wash, dry, and fold, they can just click on the location nearest them, and then they can, get the wash, dry, fold wherever they're located. SENSE, LaundraWorks. We do have Alexa. We have Alexa in some of our laundromats where we play the music for everyone. We have TVs, and we also have our VAs that basically pretty much run everything behind the scenes. They'll record our videos that basically kind of like nicely tell the community to keep the laundromat clean, to clean up behind yourself, to not use this much soap. You only have to fill the washers this high or the dryers this high. So we have those videos running on our TVs, on a loop. So that way, of course, you're still going to have the customers that leave soap and, make it mess. You're still going to have that. You're not going to be able to avoid that. But it's just so they can see that, hey, try to clean up, try to keep your laundromat as clean as possible as you can. Of course, my workers, they're always on it. They're always cleaning when they first get there, cleaning before they leave, cleaning during the shift. So, that's just something that we implemented so that way people can kind of like pay attention, because once our girls start cleaning and keeping it clean, then you'll have our regulars like, hey, don't leave that there. Don't pick up. But they start to pick up behind themselves. They start to have pride in it because you have pride in it. Like if you're taking care of the community and they see that you're keeping this place clean and safe and you're keeping the machines working, then they'll start having pride when they come in there, when they're washing, they'll start cleaning up after themselves. So they'll kind of like, police themselves. Well, yeah.
Yes, I love that. Well, our time has come to an end. I would sing a song for y'all about how we've come to the end of the road, but I'm going to save that for another day. To the end. Okay. No, it's not karaoke night, y'all.
Before we leave, as you can see, we're trademarking. You see my little logo back here, girl? That's what we all trademarking. I don't know if you can see that, but we're trademarking our new brand, and we're doing a whole new color schemes with whole new it's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to come back and basically show everything that we're doing here in the next 6 months with these laundromats. And by then we'll probably have, we'll probably be closer to our goal by then.
Okay, come on, 10, big 10 for 2024. I love it.
Why?
I love it. I really appreciate your time. Right? Why not? Why not? And we'll add on 11 here in Charlotte.
Well, let's go, girl. Just let me know when you want me to come. I'll fly up there and we'll help you. Because that's what we want to do. We want to give back. So if you need any help, listen, pick up the phone, call me, message me, whatever. We'll come to Charlotte. We'll help you find a laundromat if that's what you want. I'll be your integrator up there.
Please, thank you. And y'all check on me at the end of June to make sure that I am still not at 13% of Jordan,
yes, we will.
Because, my gosh, Lisa, it's been a wonderful time. I wish we had more time, but I know you have to go collect every laundromat in Tampa. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
And if you find out if he wants to sell, me and Joe will come up there and we'll help you negotiate that thing, and we'll help you get your own laundromat.
Okay, period. Hey, y'all heard it here first. We get wealth off of washers, and that's all. Period. Period.
Nice talking to you.
Likewise. Catch y'all later, and I hope y'all enjoy. Peace.
All right. I hope you love that episode. I know it was a little bit of a change of pace from the norm, but so much good stuff in there. Huge shout out to Lisa for coming on. Huge shout out to Madison for stepping out and doing her first solo podcast interview. Big deal. Big time happening right there. Listen, as good as that was, as so much good information that was in there from Lisa, none of it's going to do you any good unless you put it into action. So pick something, put it into action, get after it. Go make your goals happen this week, and we will catch you next week. Super special episode. Super excited about it at the very next one. So I'll see you then. In the meantime, stay fluff and awesome. Couldn't say it was a straight face.